So, we've talked about the AI gold rush, right? The incredible explosion of innovation, the fortunes being made. But here's the thing about a gold rush. There is always a dark side, a shadow that gets cast by all that glittering profit. Well, today, we're stepping right into that shadow. This is the story of the great divide AI is tearing through our world, and why, honestly, it's starting to look a whole lot like a new kind of class war.
I mean, just look at the two futures taking shape right now. On one side, you've got the new elite, the prompt engineers, the people who can talk to AI, and they're pulling down salaries of $300,000, sometimes more. But on the other side, the much larger side, well, that's where a totally different story's playing out. Millions of people in logistics, in writing, in customer service are waking up to find that their skills, their careers, their entire economic reason for being has been made obsolete, pretty much overnight. And let's be clear, this isn't some far-off prediction. This is happening right now.
And that really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. The argument is stark, and it goes like this. AI isn't just disrupting things. It's not just another technological shift. No, it is launching a full-scale class war. Think about that. This isn't just about some companies winning and others losing. The sheer scale and blinding speed of this change is something else entirely. It's a fundamental restructuring of our world into two camps, the winners and, well, everyone else.
To really get what this class war is all about, you have to understand that this massive wealth gap we're seeing, it's not some unfortunate side effect. It's not an accident. It's a structural certainty that's literally baked into the technology itself. So let's take a look at how the new royalty is building its fortress.
The key idea here is something called the AI moat. And yeah, you should think of a medieval castle's moat, a huge defensive barrier. Because in the world of AI, the tech giants are building an economic and technological moat so wide and so deep that pretty much no one else can even dream of crossing it. It's designed to lock in their dominance forever.
So how do you build a moat like this? Well, it takes three key steps. First, you hoard computing power. I'm not talking about a few servers in a closet. I'm talking about tens of thousands of incredibly expensive, specialized GPUs that only a handful of corporations on the planet can even get their hands on. Second, you control the data, the massive, unique data sets that you need to train a top-tier model. And here's the kicker. The more data you have, the better your AI gets, which then lets you collect even more data. It's a feedback loop from hell for anyone trying to catch up. And third, you put those two things together and you create a kill zone where competition just can't survive.
The result is this absolutely vicious cycle. The giants, your Googles, your OpenAIs, they build the best tools, which makes them even more powerful, which lets them crush any small innovator that pops up, and that concentrates all the new wealth at the tippy top. If you're a small business, an entrepreneur, an individual, forget it. Competing is basically impossible. You are, for all intents and purposes, locked out of the new economy.
But this moat, this fortress, it doesn't just create a divide inside one country. Oh no. This thing is creating a global chasm. It's literally redrawing the economic map of the entire planet, deciding which nations get to thrive and which ones are just left behind.
And this chart just lays it out so clearly. You can see the stark difference. In developed nations, AI is being pushed into these high-level creative and analytical jobs, which funnels an extreme amount of wealth into the hands of a very small group. But in developing nations, AI is being used to wipe out the very industries that their economies were built on. All those outsourced customer service and data entry jobs. The result isn't wealth concentration, it's mass job loss and terrifying economic destabilization.
We are watching entire sectors just collapse in real time. The business process outsourcing industry, which was a genuine lifeline for millions in countries like the Philippines and India, is being absolutely gutted by AI chatbots. Remote call centers, content writing farms, data entry, all these digital jobs that lifted so many people into the middle class are now staring at extinction. The economic bedrock of entire countries is starting to crumble.
And this tidal wave of obsolescence, it brings us to the toughest question of all. And it's not a technical one, or even really an economic one. It's a moral one.
You know, if this technology really does create the unimaginable wealth and abundance that its champions promise, but it does it by making millions, maybe billions of people economically useless, what do we owe them? What is our moral obligation to the people whose entire livelihoods were just sacrificed at the altar of progress? This is where the whole conversation about things like universal basic income, or UBI, comes in. And the argument here isn't that UBI is some kind of left-wing utopia. No, it's framed as a matter of pure, cold pragmatism,
an economic safety valve, because without some way to support the massive population of the newly obsolete, the risk of social unrest, of riots, of total societal breakdown, it becomes terrifyingly real.
But this kicks up an even deeper, more philosophical question, one about what it even means to be human. For all of history, our value, our sense of purpose, has been tied to our work, right? To our economic contribution. If you take that away, what's left? What are we? Is a life without economic purpose, a life that society might just call useless, is that still a life worth living? Is that even acceptable?
So, you see, this goes so far beyond jobs and economics. It forces us to look in the mirror and ask about the very definition of humanity in a world that might not actually need our labor anymore.
The AI revolution promises us a utopia of endless abundance and creativity. But that promise, it comes with a terrible, terrible price. And that price is paid by every single person who isn't already standing on top of that economic mountain. Their future is the currency of this new progress.
And so that leaves us with one final, unavoidable question. And this question is for every single one of us, not just the people whose jobs are on the line today. When your economic purpose is gone, what is left of you? What's left of society? And maybe the most important question of all, what role are you going to play in fighting for a future that doesn't just leave most of humanity behind?